So, what's next for Star Trek? Well, it's revisiting an old friend, Captain Picard. Well, he's not Captain anymore. And he's not the same Picard. In actuality, he's an alternate universe version of Picard. But, no, they just mean it's decades later. Yeah. But boy, man, this ought to be something, huh? Because it should unite. There's been a bit of a little split in the Star Trek fandom, just a little, and this should unite them as a familiar face, an altered version. It's Patrick Stewart, so there you go. But none of the other characters, and don't even mention them. No. But anyway, Star Trek Picard will be the series as the retired Starfleet captain. Will have some new mission as he struggles to find his way back to the light in a world of darkness. Yeah, into darkness we go again, right? Well, this should be a great thing because of the huge smash hit success of Star Trek Discovery. Oh, it wasn't? I'm sure it was. They said it was. I don't see any numbers on that, but they said it was. It was very popular. But for some strange reason, Netflix has decided not to support the overseas rights and viewing rights to Star Trek Picard. That'll come through Amazon. So Amazon's going to step up to do this. But I wonder what's the deal with... Why would Netflix do... Yeah, because they got swindled and they won't get fooled again. So... It's all the same crew. No, not the Next Generation crew. I mean the same crew behind STD that'll be handling this. So there's Patrick Stewart. Who knows what they paid him? I imagine it was considerable. And he's got to do this story. Now, the concept and the idea of a later years Picard story is not necessarily a bad one. Even when it's set in the quote-unquote prime universe. Head over to Midnight's Edge if you want to know the whole story behind that. Boy, is it a long one, but it's still interesting. But anyway, so apparently we'll be dealing with the ramifications left behind from the destruction of Romulus, which you saw in the 2009 movie by J.J. Abrams, Star Trek, and which is the only good one of the three. It's actually a very fine film. And just the concept of that didn't bother me, and the ideas of those movies, as far as being in its own universe, was actually probably a better solution than not. Whereas Star Trek Discovery just lied about where that show was set and all that sort of thing. But anyway, Picard will be on this mission with a ragtag crew, probably on a little ship with some, maybe even a talking animal. And yes, it's Captain Picard on a ship with Guardians of the Galaxy. That's pretty much probably what it... Why not steal that? Probably in search of some artifact. I'm guessing the red artifact. Red matter, red angel. Yeah. Well, whatever. And because Picard, in the original series, and even though this is an alternate universe version of him, not officially or publicly, but yes, he is, he still has an interest in archaeology. And the problem is that they already had a really cool storyline in the old Next Generation show where Picard was pursuing this evidence for some lost secret, for some lost civilization from in the past. And it all led to a revelation that the Klingons and the humans and the Romulans and Vulcans and all that all had a common ancestor in some ancient galactic race that ceased to exist. But, their great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren lived on. And it was a cool concept and a neat storyline, and they had all kind of adventures involving getting there. And, of course, the Klingons huffed and puffed and refused to accept the results. But it was a cool way also to get around one of the complaints about Star Trek was that it was all the aliens were just forehead of the week. They would just glue some sort of rubber on a nose or something like that and say, well, you're an alien now. And that's all they could do because it's all they could afford to do. And the technology at the time, you couldn't have, like, people talking to floating jellyfish or something like that. It would have been expensive to do, and the technology wasn't quite there anyway. And so here you had a pretty clever explanation of, well, they're all related. There was a common ancestor in the distant past. And so that was neat, and it fit in with Picard's love of archaeology. And so there's all this stuff and avenues of story you could do, but it was done. So I suppose you could do a similar one, but what would be the big reveal? You'd have to come up with something like that. So all that being said, it would be an interesting jumping off point to go with, but this crew, oh, jeez. Oh man, it's one thing that you had a series that was really so far removed from the material that it was supposed to be in, that you said it was in. If it was going to be its own thing, okay, just be upfront about it. They should have said it in the distant future and all that. But then you get into it and you don't even have any ideas for it. The episodes contradicted themselves. They forgot their own ideas and establishments they had made within the concepts of their own series, and like the time travel business and that whole thing. I mean, Harry Mudd had a time machine. He forgot. Okay. Stuff like that. It's just really lazy and sloppy. It had great special effects, great sets, and, well, some sets. And most of the time they just turned the lights off so you could see how bad it could be here and there when the money ran out, But that was it. That was where the work was. Everything else, even some of the actors are good, some weren't so great, but just the writing and the plot was not there. And the idea of seeing this being done to Picard, oh, it might even be worse. Because at least, you can just say, well, this was Spock was an alternate Spock and all that sort of thing, and it doesn't matter. But here it's Patrick Stewart. So look, I understand the money. They put a lot of zeros on that check. I don't know what his situation is, and he figured, all right, I'm in. But can this save the Star Trek franchise from the horrible punishment it's already received? I doubt it. But we'll have to see. But it's already so badly damaged that there's no toys, which is the whole point of the merchandise, which, granted, I have no interest in, but it had been a very lucrative source of income for these franchises and the main incentive to even do it. But they couldn't sell anything from these new entities. And so now you're going to have Picard, but the damage is already done. So Picard's got his work cut out for him. But unless there's someone there that's actually at least passionate about science fiction, it will be another failure. So it's all very sad. I wish it weren't the case. I never thought I'd be saying, oh, they're going to do a series with Captain Picard, or, whatever he'll be, the Citizen Picard, Starfleet veteran Picard. That sounds interesting. And now I'm like, oh God, dreading it. It's all very sad. But hey, let's hope for the best. I haven't actually seen any episodes, so maybe it'll prove me wrong, and let's hope so. All right, thank you for watching and listening. Say, while you're here, why not like and subscribe? And for those of you who have subscribed, well, a special thank you to you. I do appreciate it. And you know what? While you're here, hey, look, there's a link description below. Yes, that's right. It'll take you to my podcast and to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you.